Hi, Paul. Welcome to our little fireside chat. It's really a joy and a pleasure to have got to know you over the years. And I thank you for your partnership, for trusting us, for us to be able to present what amazing stuff Third Armor is doing. It'd be great if you could perhaps give us a little background of the business, how you came about it, and how you're doing.
I worked for the manufacturer. I would sell it to the end user, which is like plumbing companies and mechanical trade companies. And then I'd also meet with the distribution network, and we were sort of one big happy family. But the point of it was I started to see these holes in the relationship. I would go into these businesses and they'd have like piles of invoices on their desk and started talking about business and what their headaches were. And all these businesses started to say the same thing, that it was sort of a twofold issue. Number one is the amount of invoices they had to go through and authenticate for accuracy was 500, 600, 700, sometimes 2,000, 3,000. And it was really a pain point for them. But additionally, there was this sort of quirk or nuance in the industry where they would start to say that their pricing that they agreed on to pay for their items from the distribution networks would not come in on the invoice many times according to what the agreement was. It's not necessarily nefarious, but if they had agreed to buy a part from a supplier for $500, and they're buying, 1,000 of them a year, and that part starts to come in at $600, $700. What ended up happening is these guys would have to look at all their invoices line by line. And that's the story I sort of started to hear from everybody. So that's what initially sparked my mind for the solution. Now, the spark of the mind and where we are today, there was a lot in between that. And that's where CoreFlex really made it happen.
Third Armor itself as a business is helping your customers in doing a price match to contract. At the core of it, that's where the idea started from.
So once you get into these huge multi-billion-dollar distribution companies, there's so many layers, moving prices, discount codes, and expirations that happen within their system that lead to these pricing increases. And unless it's monitored consistently, your prices will just sort of go out the window in a few weeks or a few months. So if you're a business and you think you're paying a price for something, you attach a margin to it, and then you're selling it to your customer for X amount. Now, what's happening is the distribution networks were raising the price either accidentally or they were raising it because of, tariffs, markups, whatever, but they didn't communicate those increases. So the customer of the Third Armor is getting a benefit either way, because the customer is being notified it is either a legitimate price increase and we have to, as the business, adjust our installation prices, or it's an error and we need to get money back. So either way, the notification of being charged the wrong price has been really beneficial to these companies.
I know when we met, you had been kicking around the idea for a short while. What was it about your partner that you were looking for? And I guess conversely, what is it that CoreFlex was able to provide you that made us feel like a right fit?
I did have partners before I met you. The idea was there. I tried building it. Number one, the developers I had couldn't figure out how to do it. And then number two, the partner I had, I didn't trust. It was a real learning experience. And then when I met you, something inside of me told me, move forward with this guy. And here we are, 3 or 4 years later.
So in terms of the CoreFlex technology team, the people you work with, how did the experience and how did working with us on taking a core AI platform and then customizing it to your needs?
So when we first started building it, we were identifying coordinates and layouts of each individual invoice format. One of the things I really do appreciate is CoreFlex put in so much work to the code. And as soon as AI came out, you learned AI instantly and immediately pivoted our development and platform to AI and almost said, you know what, don't worry about all that development. We've got a better way to do it. So CoreFlex prioritized doing it better than sort of saving face on all the code that they did. sincerely, CoreFlex has created something that didn't exist. It's not like we even had a roadmap. I came to CoreFlex and said, look, I have an idea. It doesn't exist in the world. I have no idea what I'm doing. I was selling plumbing parts 5 minutes ago. Now I want to build a software. My inexperience was palpable, but you still took my idea and my vision and you made it into something real, even when I couldn't like properly explain it. So the development team you have and their ability to sort of understand a first time entrepreneur and to take sort of my gibberish and turn it into like an unbelievably functioning platform that's really starting to sell and gain tons of traction. I mean, CoreFlex really deserves all the credit.
Thank you. I've told you this many times, just the infectious enthusiasm of an entrepreneur is very exciting. For us to be part of that journey, to see this idea come to life, ultimately what we as a business really liked was your drive and your complete belief in what you were doing. And of course, your depth of understanding of your market. Really, it's been a privilege to be partnering with you on this. So how has the feedback been from your customers or your potential market?
The feedback has been amazing. As you know, it's very complex. You have had not one person drop off of the platform. You can like over the phone feel their eye roll, you know, but I can tell you that when I do get the meetings and I show it to them, their jaws hit the floor. Okay. They go, oh my God, like, I can't believe this exists. So it's being received phenomenally well. CoreFlex was able to take that vision and turn it into a functioning product. And the product is producing. It reads invoices perfectly. It audits them. It produces a report. I mean, we're not talking about $50. You know, we're talking about $5, $6, $7, $8, $10,000 a month that they would have otherwise just paid the supplier as an overage. So together, we have built a product that's having already in just a few months a major impact on the industry. They're talking about it amongst themselves. I'm starting to get calls saying, hey, I heard about that product. So it's being received really well.
What has been some of the more interesting experiences off the back of launching it? From the feedback from the market, have you been able to add newer capabilities into the product? Are you thinking of putting in more features? And how is that journey looking like for you?
What ended up happening is I gave CoreFlex an idea. They built it. We got it out into the market, and it turns out it needed a million other enhancements to sort of integrate with how these businesses do their work. So CoreFlex immediately pivoted. I mean, I send an email and say, we need this in the platform. And then a representative from CoreFlex will email me back and say, let's have a meeting tomorrow, and they build it in. I can't imagine having a better experience with a development company, just like the attentiveness. I mean, I sincerely mean this.